Now, in our earlier sessions, we had discussed about marginalization. So what does marginalization mean? Well, it means a situation when a group or a section of society feels like an outsider simply due to the socio-economic conditions. It then becomes necessary to study about them and make them feel included. Though they are powerless, such groups have fought, protested, and struggled because they didn't want to be excluded or dominated by others. They have attempted to overcome their situation by adopting a range of strategies. Religious solace, armed struggle, self-improvement, education, and economic upliftment all have been tried by these people. But in all these cases, the choice of struggle has depended upon their circumstances. In this session, we will discuss how these groups and individuals challenged the existing inequalities. The Adivasis, Dalits, Muslims, and women are amongst the most marginalized groups. They feel that since they are Indian citizens, they are entitled to possess equal rights. There are many people who take the help of the Constitution to address their concerns, and we will soon see why. We will also be discussing how the rights of these groups are translated into laws to protect them against any exploitation. We will also look at the policies that are formulated by the government to promote their development. You see, the Constitution lays down a foundation of democracy. The list of fundamental rights have been defined by the Constitution, and it is these rights that are available to all Indians equally. And as far as marginalized groups are concerned, they avail of these rights in two ways. First, they have been forcing the government to acknowledge the injustice that has been done unto them. Second, they have insisted that the government should enforce these laws. In some instances, the struggles of the marginalized groups have influenced the government to frame new laws, keeping in mind the spirit of the fundamental rights. For instance, let's take Article 17 of the Constitution. It states that untouchability has been abolished. So this means that no one can prevent the Dalits from educating themselves, entering temples, and using public facilities. The term Dalit, which means broken, is deliberately used by marginalized groups to focus on the centuries-long discrimination that they have faced and experienced. Moreover, the practice of untouchability is now morally wrong and punishable by the law. Apart from Article 17, there are other sections of the Constitution that strengthen the arguments against untouchability. For instance, we have Article 15 of the Constitution, which says that no citizen of India shall be discriminated on the basis of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. So this has also been used by the Dalits to seek equality. This is how the Dalits are safeguarded. If they ever have a feeling of being ill-treated by any individual or community, all they have to do is use their fundamental rights. This is applicable even against the government. They can ask the government to abide by the Constitution and give them justice. Isn't it true that since every human is born in the same manner, there should be nothing that differentiates one body from another? Now, pollution was the main reason. The lower castes were denied public spaces, education, work, and even their basic dignity. She is probably trying to say that pollution doesn't occur from the work that you do, but it comes from your thoughts, values, and beliefs. Likewise, other minority groups too have used their fundamental rights to fight for themselves. Interestingly, the two main rights that have been used by them are the right to freedom of religion and cultural and educational rights. Now, in case of the cultural and educational rights, religious groups such as the Muslims or the Parsis have the right to preserve their cultural content. Also, they have the right to make the decisions on how to preserve this content. So by granting the different forms of cultural rights, the Constitution tries to ensure cultural justice to such groups. The Constitution does this so that the minorities do not get dominated by the majority community. As we have already discussed, the government makes laws to protect its citizens. Yet, this is not the only way in which it takes an action. Just remember one thing: do no injustice, see no injustice, and face no injustice. We shall continue having many such discussions in the sessions to come. But till then, keep learning and keep smiling. Goodbye. Tutormate. For more amazing video lectures, download the free app on the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store.